To a new video. So I decided to talk about something that really is very emotional for me, but I definitely want to have awareness about it and kind of sharing my point of view and what I had to go through. And the only reason I'm bringing this topic up again is because, you know, because today I had to go somewhere that involved, my situation. So I wanted to talk about like what I had to go through with my abortion. Some of you already know that I got pregnant last year, and I had to have an abortion only because I was not prepared to have a baby. I got pregnant suddenly. It was not planned at all, and my ex, he's very Christian. So in his family, they don't believe in abortions. And I talked to my family, I talked to my therapist, I talked to a lot of close people, and they told me that, like, yeah, Rita, you're not ready. You don't have a job. Your apartment can't really support a baby. And I realized that they were right, that as much as I loved my baby, I knew that it was just a wrong timing. Like, I couldn't even I know that I did not have money to even support myself, let alone a baby. So, unfortunately, I had to do the abortion, but the sad part is that I had to hide it from my ex because, like I said, he's a Christian. He doesn't believe in abortions. And I had a conversation with him and I said, if I had an abortion, would you leave me? He said, yes, I would leave you. And, and it was hard for me to really feel that, because how could a man leave you just because you're doing the right thing? Not every pregnancy you're ready for. And it was definitely my first pregnancy, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's not that I didn't want my baby. I really did. It was just a wrong time. And, he wasn't really giving me much choice. And, my team, my family, my supporters, they said, you know what, do what you have to do to make yourself happy. So I went along with the abortion. But I had to lie and deceive my ex so he could leave Connecticut and go to Virginia so I can have this abortion in secret. Because if not, if he would have stayed with me while I was pregnant, I would be still pregnant to this day. I would be pregnant by now again. you know and it was hard. And after the abortion, I had to really go to therapy for a while, because it was hard for me to come to terms that this happened, and I was very attached to my baby. I still love him. I think I was having a boy because my ultrasound kind of looked like it might have been a boy. I don't even know if it was, but it looked kind of like it was a boy. And after the abortion happened, I was doing fine. And then, I had my first period. And thank God my body did its thing naturally right at the time where my ex came back. And, I had a miscarriage, quote unquote miscarriage, which, I went to the hospital. I had to literally act like I had a miscarriage in order for my ex to believe that I had a miscarriage. And that's hard. I mean, that is very hard, I will tell you. And, when he came back from Virginia, I wasn't pregnant, so I had to pretend I was still pregnant. And like I said, my body kind of did its natural thing. So I was able to pretend that I had a miscarriage. And I went to the hospital and I had to kind of act in the hospital to pretend that I had a miscarriage, because I was afraid that what if they did find out that I had an abortion, they told my ex. And thank God they didn't do it. But, when, when you're very, like, I was 2 months And it's still very hard to tell, you know, if you had a miscarriage or you had an abortion at that time, because your baby is like this tiny. So it's hard to tell. So that was a good thing. So, you know, from the doctor's point of view, it just looks like I had a natural miscarriage, which was exactly what I wanted them to believe. So when he found out, he got really upset. He blamed me, he cried, he got angry, he got drunk. He just went downhill very quickly after that. And I didn't know what to do. I felt very guilty because he was putting that guilt on me. He was blaming me. He was like, "How could you do this? We lost our baby. Like, you're not a good mom. You're this, you're that." And I know no one should go through that. Like, that's a very narcissistic behavior. And, you know, and that was kind of like the end between me and him. That really was like the last straw. And I'm kind of glad that happened, because I couldn't deal with him anymore, because, you know, I never thought he would be like that, especially having a baby with him. He really acted his real self. And this whole time, you know, he was kind of, you know, he was hiding his true self from me. And then when I had the miscarriage, he showed his true side. And that's when I knew, like, you know what? You're not you're not the man that I want. And that really, he showed himself. He showed his true self with me. And I'm kind of glad he did. And I realized, you know what? I don't want you anymore. You're horrible. You're a narcissist. How dare you blame me for a miscarriage? You know how many people have natural miscarriages? No one should be blamed for that. And, you know, the fact that I had to keep it a secret, you know, the reason why I had my miscarriage, it was even worse. So I was kind of like being a double agent in a sense, you know? And today I had to have a follow-up appointment with the abortion, and all the memories kind of came back. And, you know, last night I was thinking whether I want to go to the appointment or not, and I decided no, because I started to overthink about, you know, what happened between me and Xavier, what happened to my baby, the whole abortion, that I had to lie, that I had to pretend. It was just a horrible thing that I had to go through just to protect myself. And I decided not to go to the appointment, because I knew that if I went there, that I would just start crying. And I want to heal from this, because I know it's not my fault. It's not my fault that this happened. You know, as a woman, you have to make these very hard choices. And, you know, in my point of view, it was my first time being pregnant. So a lot of times, women that have their first babies, when it's not planned, sometimes you have to make a hard decision, and I had to. But, you know, no one should be judged about having a miscarriage or even having an abortion. You know, I know a lot of times people are very judged through abortion, but I feel like you don't know anyone's story, so don't judge them, right? You know, so I just wanted to express myself, like, about this, and I'll be okay, guys, don't worry. If I feel like I have to cry, I'll cry, you know. But I will always remember my baby, and I know that I'll have another baby. Again, I'll have another blessing with another baby, and I hope that will help heal my pain and guilt. Sorry. I get very emotional when I think about it. So that's just it for this video. It's just a very short video, but I wanted to express, you know, what I had to go through, because I know this is like a new channel for me, so I wanted to kind of maybe bring up some things that I had to go through, because I did delete a lot of my older videos, so this is like a little bit of a recap about what I had to go through. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.